Acts chapter 9. And we know about Saul being a man of Israel, a very devout man, a very zealous man, a man jealous for the Lord, a man schooled in all the ways of Israel and all the teachings, also a Roman citizen, a very intelligent man. And here in verse 1, Saul, yet breathing out threatenings and slaughter against the disciples of the Lord, went unto the high priest and desired of him letters to Damascus, to the synagogues, that if he found any of this way, whether they are man or woman, he might bring them bound unto Jerusalem. It was Saul's purpose as an Israelite to seek out any who were testifying of Jesus Christ and keeping the teachings of Jesus, to seek them out and bring them unto judgment, even unto death, as had happened when he was at the stoning of Stephen. As he journeyed near Damascus, suddenly a great light came down from heaven. And Saul fell to the earth, and he heard a voice saying, Saul, Saul, why persecutest me? And he said, Who art thou, Lord? And the Lord said, I am Jesus, whom thou persecutest. It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks. And he, trembling and astonished, said, Lord, what wilt thou have me to do? And the Lord said unto him, Arise and go into the city, and it shall be told thee what thou must do. And so Saul arose from the earth and followed these instructions. And when his eyes were opened, he could not see, for he was blinded. And this is how it was for a man of Israel at that time who had not accepted Jesus, who was devout and zealous for God. When he came upon the revelation of Jesus Christ, it was as one astonished. When he came upon face to face, in a sense, a vision of Jesus, it was overwhelming, and he was blinded and could not see. And it was only through the healing of his eyes, through the touching of one of the ministers of God, that he was restored to sight. The reason I touch upon that verse is that as we look at these Old Testament scriptures, or if you like, the verses of the prophets, the Proverbs, the Psalms, the verses in the Torah, that we find that they are astonishing, they are hard to see, hard to hear, for some blinding and for some deafening. But reason with these verses, because you can't deny them, you can't discount them. Proverbs 30 verse 4 says, Who hath ascended up into heaven, or descended? Who hath gathered the wind in his fist? Who hath bound the waters in a garment? Who hath established all the ends of the earth? What is his name, and what is his son's name, if thou canst tell? Yes, in Proverbs chapter 30, it speaks of God creating his power to do all these things. Only one who could ascend up to heaven and back. And what does he say? That he has a son. He has a son. Right there. What is his name and what is his son's name? We know this can't be speaking of angels. Do angels have children? Definitely not. They're neither male nor female. Angels do not progenitor children. Who does that leave in the heavenly host? none but the Father. Why do we call him Father? Because he has children, and many children. And we are of his children. Israel are of his children, and he brought forth a son. Malachi 3 and verse 1. Behold, I will send my messenger. Yes, God had a plan to send a messenger. And he will prepare the way before me, and the Lord whom ye seek shall suddenly come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant whom ye delight in. Behold, he shall come, saith the Lord of hosts. Isaiah 28:16. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, Behold, I lay in Zion for a foundation a stone, a tried stone, a precious cornerstone, a sure foundation. He that believeth shall not make haste. That same stone, in Psalms 118:22, the stone which the builders refused has become the headstone of the corner. Well, we're kind of skirting around it a little bit here. Let's get into some verses that speak and prophecy of other events that would come. Psalms 41:9. And that reads, Yea, mine own familiar friend whom I trusted, which did eat of my bread, hath lifted his heel against me. There would come a man who would betray the Messiah. A man who was trusted by the Messiah. A man who even ate bread with the Messiah. And that man would even lift his heel against the Messiah. Who else but Judas was able to fulfill that? Reading on in Zechariah chapter 11, verse 12. And I said unto them, If ye think good, give me my price, and if not, forbear. So they weighed for my price 30 pieces of silver. This man, this Messiah, prophesied ahead of time that he would be sold for 30 pieces of silver. That would be his value. And the Lord said unto me, Cast it unto the potter a goodly price, that I was prized at of them. And I took the 30 pieces of silver and cast them to the potter in the house of the Lord. When it came upon him, what he had done, when he betrayed Jesus, and guilt overwhelmed him, he went back to the high priest, to the temple, and he pled with them and said, Take back this money. And they refused it because this money had blood on it. And so they cast it unto the potter's house.